Hey everyone and welcome. Today we're diving into one of those huge universal mysteries of life. Why does it feel like the years just fly by faster and faster the older we get? Let's get into it and explore the science behind this feeling we all know so well.
Sound familiar? You know the feeling. One minute you're setting your goals for the new year, and then you blink, and somehow the holidays are right around the corner again. It's so common, it's pretty much a universal sign of getting older. And this is something that connects all of us, right? Those long, endless childhood summers felt like a whole lifetime. But now, adult years can feel like a highlight reel stuck on fast forward. Well, it turns out, this isn't just some vague feeling. It's a real, measurable phenomenon, and the science behind it is absolutely fascinating.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to unpack this whole puzzle piece by piece. First, we'll look at the mystery itself. Then we'll dive into the actual hardware, your brain's internal clock. After that, we'll explore the software, how your memory literally bends time. We'll even touch on some surprisingly simple math. And finally, the big one. Can we actually do anything to slow it all down?
Okay, to kick things off, we have to get one thing straight. The time on your phone and the time inside your mind are two completely different things. Our experience of time isn't just a recording of a clock on the wall. Nope, it's something our own minds actively create.
This quote from Professor Adrian Bijan just nails it. Physical time is not mind time. What scientists call mind time is our own subjective reality. And here's the coolest part. Because our minds are the ones building this experience, it means we can actually learn to influence it.
So, how exactly does the brain build this mind time? Well, let's start with the hardware. The real physical changes happening inside our heads as we get older.
One of the big theories is that our brain's processing speed literally changes. Think of it like a camera. When we're young, our brain is recording life at a super high frame rate. But as we age, our neural pathways get way more complex, more tangled. This means signals have a longer, more winding road to travel, which slows down the rate we process new stuff. In effect, our brain starts recording fewer mental frames per second.
And this isn't just a cool idea, there's some incredible research to back it up. In one study, they had people watch a Hitchcock film while inside an fMRI scanner. The results were mind-blowing. Younger brains were flipping between different patterns of activity, these neural states, really fast. But older brains, they tended to linger in each state for longer. So for the exact same movie clip, the older brain made fewer mental cuts, making the whole thing feel shorter.
This is all tied to a process with a pretty sci-fi name, neural de-differentiation. What does that mean? Well, basically, as we get older, the brain's specialized reactions to things, like seeing a face versus a car, can become less distinct. The sharp edges between one moment and the next start to blur, which is why whole months, or even years, can just kind of blend into one big smear when we look back.
And then you've got dopamine, the famous feel-good chemical. It turns out it also helps run our internal clock. Research shows that when we've got a lot of dopamine flowing, like when we're having an amazing time, it actually puts the brakes on our internal pacemaker. The result? Our subjective sense of time slows way down, which makes the clock on the wall feel like it's speeding up. It's literally the science behind the saying, time flies when you're having fun.
Okay, so we've talked about the hardware. Now let's move on to the software of our minds. Because it might be our memory that's the true architect of how we feel about time when we look back.
Have you ever noticed how your memories from your late teens and early 20s are just so incredibly vivid? Well, that's a real thing. It's a psychological phenomenon called the reminiscence bump. It's like our brains have this special high-definition filing cabinet just for everything that happened during that super important time in our lives.
And that bump is a huge deal for our perception of time. That period from, say, 15 to 25 is just jam-packed with new things. Your first love, your first car, your first real job. Our brains are creating so many distinct, brand new memories that the entire decade feels incredibly dense and long in hindsight. But as we settle into adult routines, we have fewer firsts and the memories get less unique, which compresses our sense of time.
This brings us to something I love called the holiday paradox. Think about it. When you're on a week-long vacation, it feels like it flies by, right? But when you look back, that week feels huge, rich, and expansive. Why? Because you created tons of new memories. Now compare that to a normal week at work. It might drag on day by day, but when you look back on Friday, poof, it's like it vanished because nothing new or memorable really happened.
So here it is, the bottom line. Your sense of time looking back is a story written by your memory. New novel experiences add more pages to that story, making it feel longer and richer. Routine, on the other hand, just reduces it all to a one-page summary.
All right, our third explanation is maybe the oldest and
honestly the most intuitive of them all. It's got nothing to do with brain chemistry or psychology. It's just simple math.
It's called proportionality theory. And the idea is really simple. We judge any chunk of time based on how big it is compared to the total time we've already been alive. It's not about the 365 days in a year. It's about what percentage of your whole life that 1 year represents.
And this chart just makes it so incredibly clear. For a 5-year-old, 1 year is a massive 20% of their entire existence. It feels like an eternity. But for a 50-year-old, that same year is just a tiny 2% of their life. From that point of view, it's no wonder each year feels shorter than the last. The clock time is the same, but the proportional weight of it just plummets.
So we've got a brain that's slowing down, a memory system that gets bored with routine, and the cold hard math of proportionality working against us. Sounds kind of bleak, doesn't it? But this brings us to the final and most important question. Can we do anything about it? Can we actually slow time down?
And the answer, it seems, is yes. The key might just be mindfulness. Check this out. A really cool study on experienced meditators found they had a totally different relationship with time. They reported feeling less time pressure, that time in general passed more slowly, and even that the last few months felt longer. The secret seems to be their heightened awareness of the present moment, which turns everyday experiences into rich, memorable ones for the brain to file away.
So, based on everything we've talked about, we can boil it down to 3 things you can actually do. First, break your routine. Seriously, even small stuff like taking a new way home from work can wake your brain up from autopilot. Second, actively seek out new things. Learn a skill, travel, pick up an instrument, give your memory new material to build with. And third, practice mindfulness. Just pay more attention to right now, and you can turn even mundane moments into memorable ones.
So, there you have it. That feeling of time speeding up isn't just you. It's a real thing, caused by this perfect storm of your brain's changing frame rate, your memory's need for novelty, and the simple, undeniable logic of proportions.
But here's the empowering part. While we can't stop the clock on the wall, we can change how we experience it. We can fill our story with enough newness, awareness, and meaning to make it feel longer, richer, and way more expansive. So that leaves us with one last thought. If your experience of time is just a story that your memory writes, what kind of story are you going to write in your next chapter?